Well, my Helix Stadium XL has finally arrived. And today you're going to get a metal guy's perspective on this thing. Now don't worry, I'm not going to try to sell it to you. I'm just going to give you my first impressions, my honest thoughts about it. I'm going to talk about the things that I like, things that I don't like. I'm going to show you some of the features, and I'm also going to show you my first preset that I dialed in on this and play some riffs for you, show you some of the effects, show you some of the features, and I'm definitely going to show you what that preset sounds like in a full mix. So basically today, I'm going to talk about the great, the good, and the ugly about this unit. Oh, and by the way, for what it's worth, I bought this. So, yeah. Oh, and one more thing before we get started. That's always so satisfying, is it not? Well guys, thanks for joining me for another episode. So full disclosure, I did buy this from Line 6 and I got a bit of a discount on it because I'm one of the people in their marketplace. So I wanted to make sure I disclose that. But I'm just going to give you my honest thoughts about this anyways, because I know you guys come here for my authentic opinions and my honesty, and I do cherish the relationship that I have with my viewers and my subscribers. And I know that this is not a small amount of money that you're going to spend on this if you do choose to buy one, and I take that very seriously. So I want to help you make the best decision that you can for yourself, you know. So I'm just going to give you my honest opinions about it. We're just a couple dudes hanging out in my studio, checking out a piece of gear, and then just sharing our thoughts about it. That's pretty much what this video is. So it's going to be a little bit on the raw side, but that's kind of how I like doing things nowadays. So here is the first preset that I dialed in. All right, and I use the Revv amplifier, and I thought it sounded really good. So let's just listen to what that sounds like. Now, just so you know, that did not take long to dial in at all. It was very quick, very easy to do. And I'm using the stock cabs, as you can see here. I'm using their built-in cabs. And I really like the, let me switch cameras, duh. And I really like this menu. You can scroll through all the different cabs and, you know, find ones that you want. So I'm using the 412 Cali V30. And if you want to tweak the cab or where the mics are, just push the focus button here, and you can move the mic around wherever you want it. You can do it with your finger. You can do it with the position knob here, either way. So it's at 2.1 right now. I got to remember that. So you can move it around here like this. Very easy to do. So I'm going to bring this back to where I wanted it. 2.1, so I can fine tune it right here, right there. All right, perfect. So, and then you have a 45-degree angle. You could put it at like an offset, or you can have it straight on. So let me show you the difference in the sounds there. So you get the little more top end when you're dead nuts centered and on, you know, with it. So I'm pretty much at the sweet spot on it, if you ask me. You can change all that stuff though. So I think you can even change the angle, yeah, with the knob here. So I'm just discovering things on this thing as I do this video as well. So I have a 57 dynamic, and I also have the Royer 121 on there as well, as you can see here. And the interesting thing was when I first dialed in or first got a preset on here, I think it was the Badonkulous preset, which was the first preset that I actually liked on this. The other ones were a little weird, but you know, whatever, to each their own. But that was the first one that I actually liked, and I was like, you know, that sounds like my cab here. It sounds like a Vintage 30, a Mesa Vintage 30 cab with a Royer 121 and an SM57 on it. It sounds really familiar. And then I looked up the cab in there. I tapped on it, and sure enough, that's what they were using. That exact cab with those exact mics. So I was like, wow, they must have really nailed these cabs then, because I don't really see the need to, you know, to bring in some IRs. Now, am I going to? Of course I'm gonna, because I'm curious. But out of the box, I could go on stage with the cabs that I'm choosing anyways with this thing, and I think they sound really good. So they don't have this boxy, weird sound to them. They don't sound processed or anything like that. So I think out of the box, the cabs are great. So now I'm going to show you all the different snapshots that I dialed in on the Helix Stadium XL. So let's hear those now. All right, so I think the amp sounds amazing, and a lot of people are asking about the feel. The feel is really good. So the Revv amp, this one right here, is what they modeled in here. It's the Mark III, and I always say when I play the Revv, I feel like I have superpowers, because the feel and response to that amp is the best. It feels so good to play. It's very responsive. I like how thick and chunky it is, and I just feel like I can play my ass off when I play it, you know, and I pretty much got the same feeling when I had that model dialed up in the Helix Stadium, you know, so it sounded and felt great in there as well. So here are my settings on it. Hopefully you can see all those. Things scroll over. See all that as well. I have the hype off, but actually the hype on this is pretty cool. Let me mess with that really quick, and it just kind of makes it a little more aggressive in my opinion. So that's kind of what my thoughts are anyways. It just makes it sound a little more aggressive. Hype works differently with every amp, so it just takes whatever it has and just kind of accentuates the characteristics of that particular amplifier. So I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't find it necessary, but then again, these are my first impressions of it, and I just dialed this in last night, so maybe over time I might nudge that up a little bit for leads or for everything. Who knows? But the nice thing is, it's a very easy to use feature. So if I ever wanted to use it, I wouldn't have to get the manual to do it. You just pull up the feature and turn the knob and set it to your taste and save it. So let's go over the screen really quick. I mean, this thing's huge. I mean, you can see everything very easily. And by the way, you can read the lettering, the words, everything on here very clearly. So I really like that as well. I mean, it's just clear, you know, so I really like that. And it's nice to be able to, you know, touch something and then features come up. And if you want to go into even the, you know, the focus mode on the amp, you can do that as well. So you could do that. You could do that on the pedals. If I pull up a pedal, in fact, this is exactly how I dialed in this chorus pedal. Let's go over to that preset now. So I dialed in the chorus pedal by using the focus, you know, and I just kind of moved it around until I found the setting that I wanted, and I'll demonstrate that for you really quick. So as you can see, you can get the sound you wanted, and it was very easy for me to do. And then I was just like, yeah, that sounds perfect, except maybe I'll just take the mix down. So then you could fine tune it with these knobs here. So that really came in handy. And it's nice to be able to see things, you know, like the pedals that you're dialing in, because that's what we're used to, right? I mean, you look down at your pedal board, I got mine right here, and I like to see the pedals, and I like to turn the knobs, and it's just something I'm used to. So they transferred all of that kind of thing, that tactile thing, over to this unit, and it's great, you know. It's nice to see all these really nice graphics. So, you know, and I know some people are like, yeah, the graphics, you don't really need them. Well, yeah, you don't need them, but they definitely make the experience a lot better. And on a side note, after we use them for a while, we're going to pretty much convince ourselves that we need them anyway. So this is going to be a new standard on these types of units, and I like it. Also, make sure you stay tuned to the channel here and subscribe if you haven't already, because I'm going to do, in my next video, a full rig, including amp and all the pedals and everything. And I'm going to dial everything in with the focus mode and see how everything will sound after I do that. We're going to find out if that feature is just a gimmick or an actual real handy tool. Another thing I really like about the Helix is, this is the same as the OG Helix, is that anytime you want to get out of a screen, there's a home button right here. Just hit that and you're back to where you started. So very cool. And again, the effects are really good. I mean, freaking amazing. I didn't have to do a lot of tweaking to them. So like my lead here, I have the ping pong delay, you know, so. And then my mod lead, I actually used the dual delay, and this actually sounds really cool. Yeah, that sounds amazing. And then I have a mod lead too, where I have chorus on my main guitar sound, and then I have the dual delay there. I thought that sounded cool too. I mean, you got 8 snapshots. Why not use them? And then, of course, the phaser lead, so I use that occasionally as well. Oh, and I think on the mod lead, yes, I have the my favorite reverb, which is Searchlight. So I really like how that sounds as well. So you can hear the Searchlights kind of, you know, swallowing up all the repeats and smoothing them out a little bit. Yeah, it just sounds awesome, man. So the effects on this thing are still really good. Really good. Now here's the thing. I've been playing the XFX 3 all week. As you may or may not know, I've done some videos with that. Love it. Amazing piece of gear. So I was kind of worried at first. I'm like, all right, well, here's my chance to hook up the Helix, and I wonder if after playing the Axe effects so much, if I'm going to feel bummed out, you know, playing some of the models on the Helix. And I got to be honest with you, I'm not. I'm not lacking anything. I mean, I pulled up the Revv and played it and immediately was like, yep, there it is. Love how it sounds. Love how it feels. I'm not complaining about anything. I think it's freaking great. So I hope that puts your guys' mind at ease regarding that. You know, a lot of people are talking about, how does it feel? How does it feel? I mean, it feels great to play. You know, I haven't played every single amp model in here, but I got to tell you, it really does feel great to play. And if it didn't, I'd probably end up boxing it up and sending it back because I can't deal with that. You know, I mean, I really need a good feel when I'm playing, especially digital modelers. But I mean, when you're playing amps, obviously, you want them to feel as good as well. But these, so far, the amps in here represent the amps that they're modeling very well. So before I play it in a full mix and all that happy stuff, let's talk about my initial thoughts when I opened the box and hooked everything up and dialed it in, and what my experience was like with that. Well, honestly, I loved how it looked. The fit and finish on this thing is amazing. I love how there's a little stair step up to the top level of knobs or switches here. So that's cool instead of the slant. So I do like that. This screen is huge. It's great and it's very clear. High res kind of look to it. Very nice. I like all the colors. And again, I love the graphics. I mean, these graphics are freaking insane, man. I mean, look at that. There's the pedal right there. I mean, it just looks awesome. And as far as the dial-in process goes and, you know, using the unit itself as opposed to the software, super easy, very, very, very easy and intuitive. I really wouldn't change anything about it. And I haven't even done a deep dive on this to see all the other features, but my initial dial-in on this was easy and actually it was fun. So first impressions regarding just the initial handshake with the unit and firing it up and dialing in my preset were 10 out of 10. Honestly, they really were very, very good. And I'm familiar with the Helix ecosystem and how to use it and everything. Even though this is a newer unit, it still brought a lot of that stuff over, except they added the touchscreen, which made it even better and easier to use. So there wasn't a big learning curve on it, but that's what Line 6 is known for with all of their products. I mean, there's not a big learning curve with it. You could pretty much take the manual and throw it in the trash. In fact, it doesn't even come with one because it doesn't need one. I'm sure you can download something, but if you can't use this and dial in presets on it, you're a freaking idiot. I mean, I'll just put it to you that way. I mean, you got rocks for brains, you know? So I think it's very simple to use and all that happy stuff. So I didn't use all the amps yet, and I will. I'll you know, do some comparisons with amps and stuff like that, but this video isn't about all that. It's pretty much about my first impressions and the great, the good, and the ugly, and we'll discuss all that in a minute here. But before we do that, let me just play this in a full mix for you, and I'll discuss which different snapshots I used in the mix. I'm probably going to use the dual delay on the solo because I really like how that sounds, and I'll discuss what I thought, you know, as far as what I was hearing when I was playing it in the mix and what I felt and heard. And then we'll get into the whole great, good, and ugly stuff about this unit after that. Well, if you ask me, it kicked ass in the mix. It sounded really good. The feel was great. The effects were awesome. I really love these snapshots that I dialed in. They're amazing. So for part of the rhythm, for the intro rhythm, I used the main crunch tone. And then the second time around, I clicked on my big crunch patch, which has chorus, and it has the modded delay. It's got a little bit of a modulation on the delay. So you hear the modulation on the delay. And then I used the, I forget the name of it. It's the dual delay for the main lead. So I thought that sounded good, especially in the breakdown part. So you can really hear the modulation on the delay there as well, and I just think it sounds really cool. That nice little sweep on the notes just adds a nice touch to it, especially for the in and out stuff. I really like throwing that stuff out there. It just makes it more pleasant to listen to, and it's another little flavor you can add to your songs. So as far as I'm concerned, first impressions are very good with this unit. Very, very good. I'm very hopeful. I can't wait for the updates to see what they do next, but I could easily take this whole preset up on stage right now and be 100% happy with everything that I'm hearing, everything that I'm feeling, all of the effects, the snapshots that I dialed in, which were very easy to do. And if I had to do any changes while I was on stage during sound check or whatever, I could easily do that on this unit. All right, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's talk about the great, the good, and the ugly with this unit, okay? So as far as the great category goes, I think that the amp that I played today is great. I think it sounds great, it feels great, easy to dial in, and I'm not lacking anything with it so far. I think it's awesome. And the whole dial-in experience is great. This is definitely the easiest platform I've ever dialed in presets with. And on top of that, it's the most fun I've ever had dialing in all the effects and the presets and everything because of the focus feature, because of the touch screen, because of the layout. The whole interface is absolutely perfect on this unit. It has everything that you would ever want in an interface. And again, I'm just scratching the surface on this, but if it doesn't have any more than it's offering right now, I'm happy. I seriously have never had so much fun dialing in a preset and all the snapshots and effects and everything. And I mean, when's the last time you actually had fun dialing in anything on a digital platform? I mean, let's face it, having a good interface is great. You know, it really is nice to be able to have a ease of use and a workflow that makes sense. It's intuitive and stuff like that. And that's great. You can't usually ask for much more than that. But what Line 6 did with this interface is they took that a step up and actually made it fun as well. So I really think they did a great job on it. So still in the great category here, I think the fit and finish, the size, the whole layout of the unit is great. It really is. I like to look at it. It looks like a professional piece of gear. It just looks classy. I love the lines, the edges, I mean, everything. It just looks really well done. So I really like that as well. And the screen is just enormous. I mean, it's huge. So that's kick-ass. I haven't even got into the expression pedal yet, but I will eventually. So yeah, all that stuff is great. You know, there's probably some other great stuff too, like the graphics. That's great. You know, it's just really cool shit, you know, to look at and everything. They did a fantastic job. The focus feature is great. The hype feature, I think, is great as well. I haven't used it a lot yet, but what I did use of it, I thought, you know, this is really cool. It's not gimmicky. It actually does accentuate things on the amp that I like. But for this video, I wanted to keep everything kind of stock just to show you guys what everything sounded like without a bunch of tweaks and deep dives. And regarding the amps, I would put the ones that I've tried so far in the great section. They sound and feel great. So I don't think you have to worry about the amps being really good in this unit. They really are so far. I mean, the ones that I've tried, I'm more than happy with. So now let's get into the good category. Now there probably are a bunch of other great things on the unit, but I haven't really done enough deep diving into it to find out what those things are. This is again my first impressions video. So the good stuff in here I think are the effects. Some of them are great and some of them are good. So there's kind of a crossover there with those. I think the effects are very good though. And there's some great ones in there, like the delays I used in today's video and that song, freaking great, amazing. I still love Searchlights. It's one of my favorite reverbs, just awesome. And but I really think that the Phase 90 and the Pebble Phaser, they're good, but they're not great yet. I think they need to make them richer, because I've played those same effects in other units, and you could really hear the effect that it has on the guitar. But I'll show you here, like, it's not really that strong, and I have it the level all the way up on it. I mean, it sounds good, you can hear it, but it's not really that strong. It's not like the real pedal, and it's not like it is in the Axe-Fx or the KEMPER. So I think they need to make that richer sounding and more present. And both of them, the Phase 90 or the Pebble Phaser, both of them are a little weak. And so, and I hope I'm not sounding like I'm splitting hairs here, but that's just me being honest. You know, that's the one lacking effect that I've seen so far in here, but the rest of them are all good to great. I think the selection of metal amps right now is good. You know, obviously we'll get more. I mean, there's plenty to choose from right now. I mean, if you need 500 amps before you can be satisfied, then you're an idiot. You know, I mean, I can dial in anything with the amps that are supplied in here right now in my genre, which is metal, and be really happy with everything. It would be nice to get more. I'm sure there will be more coming down the pike, you know, soon with future updates. But you got to remember too, Proxy's coming probably in January or somewhere close to the first part of the year, and we'll be able to capture all our favorite amps anyways. Like, I'm going to do it. I mean, what do you think I got all these amps for? Not just for demos, I capture them as well and sell the captures. So I'll be doing that. So at that point, you can have pretty much any amp you want. So, and I think Line 6 is counting on that, and I'm sure their customers are too. So keep an eye on the channel for that, because as soon as Proxy comes out, I am definitely going to be capturing amps for you guys and for myself. Can't wait to check that out. So for now, though, I think the selection of metal amps is good. It's good. I think it's enough to get you started and start enjoying the Helix Stadium and actually do some touring, playing live, practicing, band practice, even some recording. So I think it's very good. Now, I also think the selection of effects is good to very good to even possibly great. The effects have always been really good in the Helix. I'd like to see some more, you know, some more selections and stuff like that. I mean, I just played the Axe-Fx for a week, and man, there's some effects in there that are just mind-blowingly good. Like, their delays are insane, their reverbs are insane. And not to take anything away from the Helix, I mean, their delays and reverbs are also very good, but it'd be nice to have a little more selection on those. And I know I sound like I'm nitpicking again, but I mean, this is the competitive field that the Helix is in, you know? And at that price point, people are going to be expecting more down the road, and I'm sure Line 6 will deliver on that. All right, so now let's get down to the ugly. So, as you know, this has Wi-Fi on it, and it will connect to your computer so you can use the editor via Wi-Fi. And I have to say, I'm massively disappointed in that feature because it doesn't really work yet. Hopefully they will address that, because I have done everything. I've rebooted my entire house to see if I could get it to work. And it does occasionally. Like yesterday, it hooked up for a couple hours and then it finally disconnected. Today, I cannot get it to connect at all. It's very inconsistent. It is very frustrating because it's a great feature. It's a really, really good feature to not have to hook a cable up to this. I can just go to my computer and it's just automatically connected via Wi-Fi to the app, and everything works. So when it does work, it's excellent. And I was planning on showing you guys that feature today and show you guys all my presets on the Stadium with my computer screen, but I could not get it to connect today, and it was very frustrating. So I just said, the hell with it, pulled my camera back a little bit. If you notice back in the video, you can see how the camera's at a different angle because I just got frustrated and said, screw it, I'll just show you the screen, the Helix itself and the screen on the Helix. So I hope they address that. I don't know if that's a software issue, if it's a firmware update that'll fix that, but I really hope they do because I look forward to using that feature big time, and I really, really hope they fix it because that is super frustrating. And I'm not the only guy that's brought that up. I've talked to a couple other people that said, no, you're not the only one, because I thought, well, maybe it's me, maybe it's my Wi-Fi that's screwed up. No, it's kind of a common complaint right now in the community from what I hear. And all fairness to Line 6, they said it wasn't 100% ready yet, and they asked us if we wanted them to release it anyway. Now, I don't know if this is one of the things they mentioned in that post or video or whatever, but all fairness to them, maybe that was one of the things that they wanted to kind of fine-tune a little bit before they released it and didn't get a chance to because we were all like, just give it to us now. So maybe that's the case, but I'm sure they'll address it. I'm sure they're aware of it, and I'm looking forward to the update that fixes that. So all in all, I think I've had a very good experience with it. If you're on the fence regarding this unit, you know, as far as whether you should get it or not because you're a metal guy or if you play any genre of music, I would say it's definitely worth you giving it a chance. It really is. Like, I like it. I think it's awesome, and I can't wait to grow into this and grow with this. And I know the future updates are going to be awesome. And then, like I said, I just scratched the surface on this unit in this video, and it's freaking very impressive. Now, one thing I'll say, too, don't judge this unit by the initial presets that you try in it when you fire it up, because a lot of them probably aren't really going to work for you. No disrespect to whoever dialed those in, but there were some in there that I was like, if I didn't know any better, I would be really disheartened by what I'm hearing and feeling right now. But the one that I would recommend when you fire this up is go to the Bedonkulous preset. That sounds incredible. And that's right there where I was like, oh, all right, now we're talking. And that's an old amp in the other OG Helix, and I thought it sounded and felt amazing in this one. So go to that one if you really want to check out what this can do regarding metal tones. Just go to the initial snapshot and just play it, and you'll be like, oh yeah, that sounds great. And that was the one where I mentioned earlier where I was like, man, that sounds like a vintage 30 cab with a Royer 121 and an SM57 on it. That sounds like something I would do. And I tapped the cab, and sure enough, it was that with those mics. And I'm like, holy shit, they really nailed that. I mean, for me to be able to pick that out and hear that without looking at it, I was like, well, that must be really accurate if that's the case, you know? So they did a kick-ass job on that. So if you're a metal guy, go to the Bedonkulous preset and play that, and that will dissuade all of your discouragement right away. You'll be like, all right, we're on the right path here. But again, I knew that this was going to be good, so I wasn't disheartened by playing, you know, any of those other presets, because I knew that if I dialed in my own, it was going to sound great. And I pulled up the first amp and thought it sounded awesome, and I just built my preset from there and started creating my snapshots. And it did not take long, and I didn't have to do a bunch of deep dives and a bunch of tweaks and a bunch of, you know, Googling and watching videos. How do I make this sound good? I didn't have to do that. It just sounds good. So you just dial it in for your taste, and then off you go. So you don't have to do any fixes to make things sound good. Even the stock cabs sound really good. So you don't have to go download a bunch of IRs or anything. And again, I'll probably do it just out of curiosity's sake and just for some variety and whatnot, but so far I could play this on stage right now and I wouldn't have any problem with it. Now, speaking of the whole metal thing, the other day I was watching a video where Rick Beato was interviewing Ola, and he was saying something that I thought was pretty interesting. He said, you know, a lot of the metal guys don't play Helix. You know, they'll play KEMPER, they'll play Axe-Fx, they'll play Quad Cortex, but it's usually the Helix is more for like the church guys, the P&W guys, country, blues, you know, stuff like that. So I totally get that, and I think it would be nice if more metal guys would try the Helix out, because these amps do sound great, and I would be more than happy. I'm just putting this out there. You know, I offer myself as tribute. I will be happy to create a preset for Line 6 and send it to them. So if they want to include that in a future update, I'd be happy to dial that in for them so that that can be included in the future update, so metal guys have a chance to check that preset out and see what this thing can do, and I think it would give them a great first impression. Anyways, I thought that I'd float that out there in case Line 6 watches this video. Any of you guys can reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you out with that. Well, that's pretty much my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and were informed by it. Make sure you subscribe and stay tuned to the channel because my next video is going to be really interesting. I can't wait to see what a whole rig sounds like after I just used the focus feature on every single pedal, on the amp and everything, and just see what I come up with just dragging my finger around the screen and seeing what I like, you know? I mean, I think that'll be really cool. Thanks to all my Patreon supporters and subscribers. I really appreciate you guys, and thanks to everyone who's been purchasing all of my preset and profile packs on my website, linked below, tonewars.com. Really appreciate you guys doing that, and I'm really stoked about all the positive feedback I've been getting on those, so I'm glad you guys are digging them. And if you're new to the channel and you like what I do here, subscribe and click the bell so that you don't miss upcoming episodes or live streams. I got a lot more stuff coming up for you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.